Okay. Perfect. Now let me just test something real quick. Absolutely not. This is not going to freaking work. I didn't mean to leave that door open. I'm sorry. Alright. So let's move things around. Sorry. Very sorry. I had to move everything around yesterday because of D&D. So, hopefully everything works still. How's everyone doing today? As you can see, I have a bit of a shadow going. I'm gonna shave it after this. After this is over, I'm keeping the whole like no beard thing because I've been told I look better without it. But aside from that, how you guys doing today? Go ahead and converse while I fix this madness that is. There we go. How you guys doing today? Before I begin. And I just hear them in the background. Wonderful. I need to get soundproofing for my walls. If I even have room for it. Anywho, let's just get started, shall we? Now, last time we left off on Appellate Justice, we had discovered a murder during Clavier's concert with La Muir. One of the suspects being La Muir's very own pianist, Maki Tobaya? I don't know how to say his name. This is one of those moments where I wish that they had voice acting, because then it wouldn't be fun for me, because then I can't voice act, but then I at least would know how to pronounce their names. You know? Anyway, let's get started. Is it just me or is it quiet? It's probably quiet for me, because, like... Alright. So I saved it after... Seriously? The creepiness already? Trucy? I hate this. Darian did it. I'm just gonna go ahead and start it off, so, I kind of want to see if I can do a voice for Apollo instead of just my normal voice. La Muir dropped a bomb in court today. It was Darian. La Muir says she's never forgotten a voice, right? That's so cool! I guess. I mean, I myself forget voices all the time. I've changed multiple voices between a bunch of people, like the Game Grumps, after all. What's that called again? Elephant ears? I bet that's what they're called. Somehow, I don't think that means what you think it means. And she has to be wrong this time. Wrong? Why? I mean, look. Those gunshots were right during the concert. That's right. I was burning up the dance floor at the time. Right. Did you happen to look up on stage? Maybe at Darian even? You bet I did. He is one of the Gaviner's guitarists after all. He's so cool. Oh, right. All the Gaviners have a rock-solid alibi. He couldn't have shot Mr. Latouche backstage. But La Muir heard him, didn't she? She heard Darian backstage, right? Somebody's either wrong or lying very badly here. Let's talk about Agent Latouche. An Interpol agent? I was wondering, what is Interpol anyway? You know, I kind of want to hear this explanation too, but I don't think this game does the actual Interpol justice. Huh? Interpol? They're the guys who catch international criminals. Why can't they just call them International Police instead of making up some silly name? Yeah. Anyway, you think he was investigating Lamuir? Why? Why would anyone do that? She's not a criminal. She couldn't be. Don't be fooled by appearances is all I'm saying. But remember, I'm a magician, Apollo. I can spot a palmed coin at 50 paces. If only it were that easy. In any case, we know he was working on something. I wonder if it was something that has something to do with something. That something being our case. The last something, I mean. Something like that. Frankly, the whole thing is making my head hurt. What was Mr. Latouche up to? Ah! What the fuck was that? I don't know, Apollo. That was weird. Trucy, was that another one of your tricks? It wasn't me! I can't even make Mr. Hat laugh like that! Jesus, it's the man himself! Wherever the mundane gives way to miracles, a word is whispered. Gramarye. Oh no! What's going on here? Phone! What's going on here? Oh, Chelsea. Sorry, I have to... I don't know how to say his name. See, this is what I mean. They need voice... I would like it to know how to say his name, but I don't know how to say it. So I'm just gonna say it as Gramarye. Gramarye. There we go. Wherever the mundane gives way to miracles, a word is whispered. Gramarye. Hey, the other day... Who's there? Who's there? Ah! We didn't just imagine that, did we? He was wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours? Hardly. We meet again. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Could you please stop smirking like that? It's you! Uncle Valent! Uncle? Uncle Valent? He's your uncle? No, silly! It's the great Gramarye, Valent Gramarye, the Grand Magician. Yes, it is I, the great Valent Gramarye, as seen on television. And could you please stop smirking like that? It's been a while, Miss Trucy. 7 years, to be exact. My, how you've grown. Good to see you again, Uncle Valent. You look exactly the same. I hate to intrude, but what is a great magician doing paying us a visit? I believe it was you who wished to see me. So be quick with your questions. And do not quail, quake, or quiver. I am quite tame, after all. Though my stardom may sear the sight, I am quite down to earth when need calls. He does have a certain aura to him, it's true. Let's ask him about the case, Apollo. His aura sure isn't lost on our magician in the making. She's practically drooling with enthusiasm. After all, Uncle Valent's one of Daddy's best friends. That's why I call him Uncle. What? Daddy? You mean Mr. Right? No, I mean my real daddy. Ah, I see. So you're adopted. I knew it. Trucy's real father? Troop Gramarye. Wait, Apollo? Don't tell me you don't know about Troop Gramarye. Troop Gramarye? Oh, it's pronounced Gramarye. Wait, I was right then! Huh? No. But it does sound kind of familiar. Oh, lost life! lamentably listless lad. To know of the greatest troupe of magicians on the planet. Valant Gramarye. The name began to surface in my mind. It was a name I'd heard on television as a child. You bet you've heard of the name. He made a cruise ship disappear and blew up an amusement park. This man sounds like a terrorist. Why? Juicy, why do you know? Oh, and he made all this gold disappear from his safe. He sounds like a real criminal, to be honest. And then escaped from a high-security prison. Yep, sounds like a criminal. Trucy, I hate to tell you this, but I think maybe he's the one who did it. You said he is a magician? I opened the locks to hearts chained by mediocrity. This is the true miracle of Troupe Gramarye. Wait. What, Apollo? I do remember seeing you on television a long time ago. Weren't you with someone else, like a duo? A duo? Yeah, you had a partner. Something Gramarye. Yes, Zach. Zach Gramarye. A masterful maker of magic, a capable crafter of shining showmanship. And Trucy's father, as you can tell from how she's reacting to this news. Why is everyone so quiet? Daddy. Daddy? Huh? Oh, no way. Once upon a time, the Troupe Gramarye included 2 grand magicians. Myself, Valant Gramarye, and my partner, Zach Gramarye, my brother. And this Zach was... he was my real daddy. Trucy's father, a magician. I guess it makes sense. I had no idea. There wasn't much point in talking about it. Not now that he's gone. Oh. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I'm not lonely. I've got my daddy after all. And you make me laugh, Apollo. Glad that I'm good for comic relief, at least. Not that I see Daddy around much these days. I've been remiss in remembering my reasons for my visit. Reasons? 2, in fact. The first being, of course, to see you, Miss Trucy. You don't know how happy I am to see you again, Uncle Valant. I'm sure you are. Not one for modesty, are you? When I encountered you at the Colosseum the first time in 7 years, I could fain contain my emotions. I wept oceans. And to learn you now defend that poor pianist, the blinded boy. 'Twas a hot topic of talk amongst the staff, you know. And defend him you did. Well, it wasn't all my doing. I'm his defense attorney, actually. My other reason for coming here today was this. That's a videotape? Quite so. A recording of the concert, no less. I've brought it for you, Trucy, on behalf of Troupe Gramarye. Will you watch it? What does it show? Oh, it shows... this. Why? The thing I need is not this one. What I need is... is it going to show me something that I don't... I mean, we know the guitar gets burnt. So the stage raises. Pleasure, but a fleeting melody. So he plays guitar. Oh, I see something weird. I saw something. Did you guys see that? The guitar, the inside of it flashed. But wait, why didn't it catch on fire then? So... I'm confused. What am I supposed to be looking for? Was I supposed to be looking at the guitar the whole time? Because that's what I did. the only thing I can think of is the guitar. Poor Clavier, he's just like, my poor guitar! Eh! Wow, it's almost as good as it was live. So, what's the word? Mysterious. There are more mysterious things than her song going on. Way more mysterious. This Valiant Grammary has good reasons to be here today. But I wonder what his reasons were to be at that concert. Present. So... what happens if I do show him it? So I was wondering, that stunt in the middle of the song there. I didn't see a stunt. What about L'Amour vanishing and reappearing? Oh, that? I guess I'm so used to seeing that happen I didn't even notice. So young to be so jaded. Ah, simple sleight of hand. A petite prestidigitation. Oh no. It's a big word even I don't know how to pronounce. A simple sleight of hand. A petite prestidigitation. A modicum of magic from me to you. So that's why you were at the concert? Yes. I was there to watch my trick take to the air. So you're the one who knows how it was all done? Of course! I am like a deity, with the stage as my domain. I suffer no mystery upon those floodlit boards not grasped tightly twixt my fingers. It is a potent, primeval power I possess. Well, do you think you could tell me how it was done? Hey now! Trissy, that's like totally against the rules, Apollo. Not during a murder investigation, it's not. Mess none, for my illusions are mine alone, monsieur. Also what? Recall that the terrible occurrence happened later. Well, after my illusion entranced the audience. Oh. Don't even ask. I won't answer. Too bad for you, Apollo. Whose side are you on? I, Valiant Grammary, now make my leave, Miss Trissy. There's no need to rush, Uncle Valiant. You should stay a while. I'm afraid I cannot. I may not. I shall not. I have been asked to assist with an analysis, so I shall slink back to the scene. So, you'll be at the concert venue today. Correct. If you would call on me, come to the Coliseum. See you later, crocodile. With a whirl of his cloak and a wink of his eye, he turned and walked out through the front door, normally. Well, there you go, Apollo. Let's get cracking. Right, Valiant Grammary. I've got a few more things to ask him. Foremost among them, that bit of magic that made L'Amour disappear, and how he knows Trissy and her real father. Well, no time like the present to go back to the detention center. July 9th, detention center, visitor's room. Maki may not be guilty, but he's still a suspect. But they don't have any decisive evidence! Yeah, but only someone as small as him could have gotten out of that room. Right, the air vent. And he lied. Lied? Maki Tobaye can't see. Hey man, what's up? Ah, Maki! Speak of the devil. So, do you also speak English? To add on to your lies? He looks like he's doing okay. I forget. Why did we come here? It's not like we can talk to him or anything. What's overrated? Feelings are what matter, Apollo. It's kind of hard to build a court case on feelings. But since we're here anyway, might as well get what I want to say off my chest. If you need someone to complain to, I'll listen. I think she's actually worried for me. Come on, man, speak English. just this once. Speak English for me. I don't speak WD Gaster. I'm sorry. Alright, let's see. So, what did you think of the trial today? I don't know how to talk English. Whew, I'm glad he doesn't understand English after all. If he did, he would have been scared out of his mind by that trial. Hey, all's well that ends well. You have to be more goal-oriented. If he's not guilty, we win. No, if he's innocent, we win. Marky might not understand English, but I bet he gets that better than you do. What if this whole time he has known how to speak English this entire time, and he's understood every single word, and he's just sat there going, yes, absolutely. Do my bidding. I doubt he's the one. Huh? Uh-oh. Something's wrong. I'm glad Lam Yua testified. What a great person. She even got Maki off the hook by naming another suspect. Darien of the Governors, the detective. I wonder if Maki knows what happened. Hmm? I mean, if he could follow how the trial went at all. If no one told him there's a new suspect, how would he know? Hey. What is it, Apollo? No, it's nothing. No, it's not nothing. Even Maki's going like, I can see you rubbing your bracelet, dude. I must be imagining it. Imagining what, Apollo? It's just, I couldn't help but feel that, I don't know, Maki? He doesn't understand what we're saying, right? How could he? He does. He's understood a single word of what we're saying. He's a young Borginian. He doesn't speak English. Yeah, but my bracelet is reacting to him. Huh? Maybe it's malfunctioning. Or it's scared because you keep making those I'm so mad faces. Was I that bad? Maki lied about not being able to see. But what if that's not all he lied about? If you're curious about it, there's only one thing to do. You should ask him. I think it'll take something big to get to him. Some kind of undeniable evidence. We'll be back, Maki. Maki's just sitting there like, yeah, I'm sure you will, Mr. Attorney. I don't have to talk to him. I know for a fact he's not going to keep talking. No, you know what? I'm curious as to what happens. I'm curious. What happens when I talk to him about his eyesight? So, Maki, you can see, right? I'm not answering that question. I don't have to answer that question. Maki can see, and Lam Yua can't. The whole world's gone topsy-turvy. Sorry, Apollo, I don't think we're going to get any information out of Maki. Which makes sense. Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, I mean, I knew that for a fact. Alright, time to move on to the Coliseum. Oh, it's this place! Wow, it looks really... It looks very toonish. Woo! What a great day! It's perfect weather for sleuthing. The weather matters for an investigation? Don't some days just feel like magic days or defense days? Sure. Let's get started, shall we? Right on! Show us your stuff, Apollo. What stuff? Your voice training. This is the perfect place for it. I did enough at home, thanks. Aw, there's no need to be too shy. Keep that up and you'll never make it on the big stage. I'm happy in the courtroom, thank you. I am a lawyer. Then you're in luck, because it's lawyer weather today. Don't you just want to face the blue sky and shout objection? Look, the weather has nothing to do with lawyers. Let's get going already. Well, what's this big sign over here? Look, a massive sign for the Guilty as Charged tour. A giant prosecutor Gavin stares out over the arena. Ooh, maybe I can take it to the office when they're done with it. Where would you put it? You couldn't even get that thing through the front door. Then I'll put it outside. I bet it'd be good for business. Just as long as no one comes expecting us to prosecute. But if anyone comes looking for a concert, leave it to me. Is that part of some twisted plan of hers to make her singing debut, I wonder? And a big old Gavin blimp. Look, a blimp! Those balloons next to it have ad banners on them. Let's see. Big sale, all shirts 50% off. Oh, it's an ad for the department store next door. What's that creature there? Oh, that's the police mascot, the Blue Badger. Eh? It's life-size. Haven't you seen them around town patrolling the streets? Yes, now even Law and Order has a mascot. I'd run from that thing even if I wasn't a criminal. Why does its head wobble like that when it walks? It's freaky. I don't think you're showing true Blue Badger spirit, Apollo. Ah, yes, the Coliseum. I wish my town had something like this. The closest thing we have is like a baseball stadium. That's all we got. Anyways, back to the backstage hallway. And that communicator is still on the fucking floor. Come on, people. Aren't we gonna clean this up? Oh, hey. Ah, Mr. Attorney. Lamiwar. I'm sorry about today. There's nothing you need to apologize for. You were merely defending Maki. Are you okay? Alone, I mean. Humans are blessed with 5 senses. Even robbed of one, we get by. Though it does make being a witness rather difficult. Speaking of seeing, you knew who we were before we spotted you just now. And we weren't even talking. I heard your footsteps several times the day before. Oh, you must have great ears. Ears that heard the crime taking place. Or so she claimed yesterday, but how? Oh god, even this music's starting to get like staticky. I'm terrified for the moment that Clavier comes on, because I know for certain. I watched the stream from last time. You guys also heard that static. I thought that was just me. No, that's the game. I don't know what's causing it, and I don't think I can fix it. That was quite a statement you made in court today. About hearing Darian Krishen's voice at the scene of the crime. I did not know his name, but I never forget a voice. Wait. Lamiwa, is something the matter? That voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it. No way. As I said in court, I was on my way backstage from the stage. That is when I heard his voice. I'm guessing Darian and Mr. Latouche were talking about something. The next moment I heard those gunshots. Why didn't you call security? To be honest, though, the noise was quite frightening. I never imagined the gunshots might be real. And I was in quite a hurry myself. I left the scene at once. So, it really was Darian's voice that she heard. Yeah. At least she certainly thinks it was. What if it's one of those cases where it's like, they had a recording of his voice, and they decided to just play it while they were either talking or before the gunshot happened? But that's impossible. That's impossible. Nobody is that much of an intelligent man. Not like Simon. Not like Simon. Simon is a fucking madman. He's a mastermind compared to whoever this is, possibly. Maki. What's Maki? I met Maki before my debut as Lamiwar. I was singing in a restaurant in Borginia, and he was playing the piano. Yes. He was very kind to me when he learned I could not see. Is that when you started playing opposites? With Maki pretending he couldn't see? Ah, no, it wasn't then. That began after our major debut. After I became known as the landscape painter in sound. It must have been tough for Maki, pretending he couldn't see it all, and all the while acting as your eyes. We held hands always. He would write with his finger on my palm to signal to me things I should know. He is a smart, gentle boy. I think I see what she's getting at. Maki would never harm a soul. About Mr. Latouche. Ah, yes. He was an Interpol agent, I hear. So you had no idea? Of course not. No one did. I guess that's what it means to be undercover. But someone was after him. They had to know who he really was. Why did he pose as my manager? I do not understand. You have no idea? I can only assume that he was investigating me, but why? What makes you think that? Perhaps it is not so, but I cannot deny the possibility. Because of my condition. As my present is veiled in darkness, so too is my past clouded from memory. Clouded, right. Oh yeah, that's right, she has amnesia. I forgot about that. The darkness that I fear is not the darkness that I see whenever I open my eyes. The real darkness lies in my heart. In your heart? I have no memory of the time before I became La Muir. I awoke from darkness into darkness, you might say. I was singing in a restaurant those days. What was it that she said about not being able to remember the light? I do not know my past. Perhaps I committed some terrible crime in my past. Everything before becoming La Muir is lost to me. But I don't think you... I can think of no other explanation. Why else would an agent of Interpol approach me? Do you think your past might be related to this case? No way! That seems really unlikely to me. I mean, you're such a sweet person, La Muir. I thank you. Maki too tells me this often when I fear who I might have been. I mean, to be honest, we thought this of Alita Tiala, and she turned out to be one twisted woman. Let's go into the Governor's dressing room. There's literally no one here. I should probably open my walkthrough so that I can get through this a little quicker, huh? You know what? No, we're not going to open the walkthrough unless I actually need it. Let's just show her all the random stuff that we have. Do you think you can tell me about this? I'm sorry, but my information about the outside world is somewhat limited. I only know what I have heard or felt. Maybe that explains why she didn't react when I showed her stuff the other day. She was still pretending she could see them. Well, we can't show her the tape. Is this going to be for all of them? I feel like this is going to be for all of them. Yeah, this is going to be for all of them. Just puts the gun in her hand, just like, hey, do you think you can tell me about this? Ah, certainly. There you go. Yeah, there's no way she'd be able to tell us anything about most of that stuff. So let's go into the dressing room then. Maybe there's something in here. Nope, absolutely not. Alright. To the stage then. That's the only other place that I can think of. July 9th in the wings. That song. Is that the one La Muir was singing? Yeah, you're right. The Guitar Serenade. Wow, I'd love to do a show on a stage like this. I'd come to see that. The house is full, and as one, the audience sighs with wonderment. There I am, singing my ballad, rose petals swirling through the air. Not bad. Wait, aren't you a magician? Oh! That's right, I was a magician, wasn't I? Some dedication. Aha! If it isn't Miss Trucy! And indeed it is. Uncle Valent! What exactly are you doing here? I take real responsibility in tasks undertaken. I am inspecting my equipment of illusion to make sure naught is amiss. Miss? The La Muir teleportation illusion. Oh. Should anything go wrong, it would reflect poorly upon me and my troop. As I went about my exacting examination, I happened to notice the piano, and I remembered that fair lady's melancholy melody. Hey, Apollo, maybe Uncle Valent can shed some light on this whole thing for us. I was wondering about the show the night of the murder. La Muir's vanishing act was your illusion, right? Indeed. The purple prosecutor petitioned my performance. At the climax of the song, he said, "Make her disappear. Like a dream." Like a dream. Yet, what can I work with on a stage meant for musical endeavors? I mean, it's like asking a plumber to do a firefighter's job, to be honest. There are none of the conveniences of a stage built for sorceress acts. I like this guy. It's a shame that I'm going to find out that he's probably the killer. It was a challenging task, and so I accepted. She disappeared from the top of the tower. But in order to move, you would have had to use some sort of secret tunnel. People come to me because I'm a professional among professionals. My illusions are custom made for a time and a place. Now, because of the murder, all the eyes of the nation are on this concert. Not a bad thing as far as the fortunes of the troupe Gramarye are concerned. So, you were here checking up on your trick to make sure it went well. And went well indeed. Now, speaking of pianos, that piano over there troubles me. It troubles you? Why? Why? Why do you ask why? I think it's probably quicker if I just go check it out myself, thanks. Okay, I'll just go do that then before I talk to you about your troupe. That's one big piano? I've never actually played one. You should get Mr. Wright to teach you sometime. No good. He can't play either. I kind of feel bad for the guy now. Maybe now's my big chance. Stand back. This could be the debut of a prodigy. Ew. Did you make that noise just now? Let me try it again. You know, I think something's stuck in the piano. Time to take a look under the hood. Huh? Look! This was stuck between the strings. It looks like some kind of switch. Someone must have thrown this into the piano. Is that the switch that set his guitar on fire? I know what you are thinking in that head of yours. Gramarye, yes, you say. I recall seeing him on television. Something of that sort? Actually, yes, you're right. Wow, he's just read your mind, Apollo. Or everyone tells him that and he made a good guess. It was 20 years ago. A young magician, a genius of his time, came down among us. His name was Magnifique Gramarye. It was he who began the great troupe Gramarye. As his prime, not a day passed that he did not play upon the screens of every TV there was. I do have a vague memory of someone like that on TV. Yet, several years ago, that time came to an end. My troupe pulled a vanishing act. Yes. Cries for magic no longer heard. The TV screen, a barren waste, stripped of illusion. That's not true. I still went to all your shows. Like that one in the parking lot down at the supermarket. When you start playing supermarket parking lots, you know you're in trouble. We hone our skill at these small venues, always awaiting our time. Yes, one day we will rise up from the obscurity onto fame's shining stage once more. I do this not only for the magic that is Gramarye, but for my partner. Your partner? You mean... Yes, Zach Gramarye, Trucy's father. Before he disappeared 7 years ago, there was no name higher than Gramarye in show business circles. None. I will see us returned to glory. I, valiant Gramarye! Our founder, Magnifique Gramarye, was truly a genius, a worker of miracles. I never forget the one I saw when I was little. This is reminding me, cause I made for the D&D that I did yesterday, my character's like he's a circus performer. He's a circus performing rogue. And I named him Acrobatil, actually after one of the characters in the Phoenix Wright series, Acro. Because I was just like, I want to make like a circus performer. And I even got my brother to join on it. He's like, his character's I don't know how to describe it. It's a Leonin that I think he could explain it better than I can. One of these days, if he's ever on stream, I might have him explain his character if it gets to that point. But I don't think it ever will. So, because I feel like it's just right that he does it. I'll never forget the one I saw when I was little. How he made that whole jumbo jet go. What happened to the jet again? Apparently, someone doesn't remember it as well as they thought. Of all the would-be magicians who came to his door, only Zack and I had the talent. In no time at all, Valent and Zack were the shining stars in the Gramarye crown. Cool, huh? And Zack Gramarye was my daddy. Now that Magnifi and Zack are gone, I have but one wish. Let it be I, Valent Gramarye, who brings the Gramarye miracle back to the big stage. I'm rooting for you. Miss Trucy, you cannot grow up quick enough. I need your skill by my side. What skill coming up? How do we manage to get off the topic of the case so quickly all the time? Anyways, hey, was this what you were talking about? Words cannot express my shock and chagrin. All I can see before me is the stage, and me upon it. Nothing smaller, nothing less radiant catches my eye. True, you're getting on in years. Not much time left to make your mark, huh? This is not how I was seeing it. So he doesn't care about what I have to show him, I get the point. Okay. I guess let's head backstage. How about we head into the Governor's dressing room? Anyone here? No. Okay. Let's try this area. Nope. You would think that... Okay, what happens if I show you the switch? Do you think you could tell me about this? No, of course not. Alright. Farewell, Lamua. I go back to... What's-his-face? What if I show him the tape? Nope. Ah, come on. I was wondering about the stunt in this video right in the middle of the song. I didn't see a stunt. Oh, that? I guess I'm so used to seeing that happen I didn't even notice. So young to be so jaded. Simple sleight of hand. Oh, this is just the same thing that I read in the right office. Whoa! You can't just ask that sort of thing, Apollo. Trucy? It's against the rules to ask a magician how they did it. Not when you're doing a murder investigation, it's not. Well, you might have a point there. Will you tell us, Uncle Valent? It is against all that is sacred to inquire as to how a trick is performed. Okay, so you tell me how you... Okay, so you tell me how you did it, Trucy. But I don't know. Come on, you're a magician. Aren't you part of the same secret club? What if I show him the lyric sheet? Okay, he doesn't give a crap about that. Got it. What if I show him the keys? No. Gun? Pardon me? I have no money if that's what you want. Ah, no, I was just, never mind. The way he looked at the revolver. What was that? It was almost as if he had seen one before, and maybe he wasn't too happy about it. Nope. Ah, the proof positive of your profession, yes? Yeah. Might I have a look? Oh? What's this? It's gone! Ah! What did you do with my attorney's badge? Don't be alarmed. Miss Trucy, take a look into your toppet, if you would. Eh? It's your badge, Apollo. What's it doing in there? That was amazing, wasn't it, Apollo? He called that pouch at her waist a toppet? Is that some kind of magician speak? That was actually kind of cool. I'm glad I did that. Come on, man. You were curious about that, weren't you? Okay, so literally there's nothing to do here. Alright, I'll be back, Mr. Grammary. Talk. Nope, nothing to talk about. Alright, you have fun, lady. Let's go back to the Sunshine Coliseum. Maybe there's something new here. Absolutely not. There is not. Right Anything Agency. God dang it. There's like nothing here. Come on. Detention Center. Hey, Toby. Maki. Sorry. Hey, do you know anything about this? I think he said, I'm sorry, I can't speak your language. You are very beautiful, fair maiden. This is why I never trust a translator. Okay. Okay. Okay, have fun. What if I show her the switch? I'm not sure about that, sorry. I was ripping up the dance floor at the time of the shooting, after all. Mother of God, everyone's useless! Why? Wait. Did I ever go back into her room? I did. Yes. Of course. Okay. Well, it's time. I tried, guys. I want you to know I tried. Anyways, follow spoiler-free, please, thank you. Because I'd rather not get spoiled. Scroll down. I kind of wish there was a setting where you could just find what you're looking for. Oh, what? Wait. Wait, what? But she can't see it. She can't see this. What would be the point of showing her it? Wait, oh, no, wait a minute. She could probably hear the switch. We took a look at your performance again. It was even better the second time. Thank you. That reminds me. That was this incredible illusion you pulled off. Illusion? When you teleported from one stage to the other, remember? Ah, yes. Apparently they hired a professional magician. Valence Grammary. I was wondering, do you think you could tell us how it was done? I'm afraid I cannot. Mr. Grammary told me made me swear to never tell a soul. I was afraid of that. Hard to be a magician if you can't keep a secret, you know. Ah, I am reminded that I wish to speak to you about something. Yes? When I was walking this hallway before, I stumbled upon a small device of some kind. It was lying on the floor. Device? Maybe you mean this? It's been lying there since the day before yesterday. Might I touch it?
I thought as much.
What? What did you think?
This is one of our headsets. Everyone on staff wears one during a concert.
I wonder whose this is.
We use it for communication. It would be quite inconvenient should it go missing.
We'll hold on to it for you then. We'll give it to Prosecutor Gavin when we see him.
Yes, that's best, thank you. So, can I put it on?
No, you can't.
Attached? I'm not some kind of robot, Apollo.
Everyone on staff wearing one of these headsets. This might warrant some further inquiry. Now, apparently I'm supposed to examine this.
Ten for that, little buddy. This is Trucy reporting in. Over.
Why the sudden silence?
No one answered.
Don't be silly. What good is a receiver that doesn't receive? What good is a receiver that doesn't receive?
That's like Emma not performing forensic investigations.
Make her sound like she's some kind of forensic investigation machine. Which is just silly. Unless she's a super high-tech android that runs on snackoos. Okay. Wait, I wonder, am I supposed to be checking the switch? I keep forgetting I can do this.
This switch sitting on here, tempting me to push it.
Don't. You might blow up the whole Coliseum.
Apollo, please. To think that every strange switch triggers a bomb. That kind of old-fashioned crime drama thinking doesn't cut in on our busy times.
Alright, Trucy P.I., please enlighten me. What do you think this switch does?
Maybe it turns on the electrical razor in Prosecutor Gavin's dressing room.
A switch as big as a razor to turn on a razor? Okay. What if we show her it now?
Do you think you could tell me about this?
What am I supposed to do? Oh.
Can I ask you about this headset, Lamuar? You said that all concert staff were wearing one. That's correct. You need them to communicate across such a large stage. Everyone on the staff had one, of course. And all of the band members, too, I should think. So Prosecutor Gavin and his lackeys had them on, too, then. They're quite helpful, though limited. They only work within 30 feet or so. After all, they're only for use on stage. And a stronger signal would interfere with the sound system.
That makes sense. You'd think someone would notice if they dropped their only communications lifeline.
So why was this one lying here?
Okay, so apparently now it's supposed to go into here.
Yep, sure enough.
July 9th, Lamuar's dressing room. And it's Emma. And she's stressed the hell out, and she's pissed. Uh-oh. There's only one person I know who can munch with such venom.
What are you doing here?
Hello, Emma. You're looking as grumpy as ever.
Oh, am I supposed to be happy? You give me the second degree in court, and Prosecutor Gavin makes me look like a fool.
You're talking about the bloodstain Mr. Latouche left.
My department chief had a field day with that one. Even a blind person could see the shooter wasn't blind. Funny guy, huh? But that bloodstain helped uncover the biggest mystery of all.
Now we know that Mr. Latouche was really with Interpol.
We wouldn't have found that without you. I suppose. Maybe that's why the chief gave me these after he was finished chewing me out. Said it was my reward.
Are chocolate snackoos popular at the precinct or something?
I was hoping we could check out the crime scene again. Be my guest. You're not going to find any clues in here. Though I did find something strange. Something strange? I met my embarrassment quota for the year, that's for sure. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? How? I mean, think about it. Now you don't have to be embarrassed about anything else all year.
If only it worked that way.
It just bugs me to think that that little kid outsmarted me. And it makes him even more suspicious now that we know he can see. How could he have seen the air duct and he could have seen the air duct and he could have shot that revolver? But that's not how it sounded in Lamua's testimony. You mean her saying she heard Detective Darian's voice at the scene? That's right. Why can't we have a normal, straightforward killing once in a while in this country? I'll pretend I didn't hear that. The case. Wait, what's the case? Was that true, what you said in court today? You know, about the case. About how everything was happening according to the song lyrics. The guitar serenade, you mean? I found the link, you know. First, Prosecutor Gavin's heart-shaped key ring was stolen. Then Lamuar flew through the air. Aha! Microphone. Why? Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar caught on fire. And in the end, a bullet took Mr. Latus's life. And he went up into the sky with the guitar. Well, 30 feet up at least. It is kind of hard to chalk it up to coincidence. I know! And I found it! You think the same person did all this? Don't ask me. I didn't do it. Neither did I. I couldn't fit through that air vent anyway. What? You all think I did it? Sometimes I worry about that girl. What was a strange thing that you found? So, what did you find? It's so little I must have passed over it yesterday. I found it under the sofa. What is it? Part of some device. That looks like a fucking igniter. that looks like a remote fire device. It's like a mini pyrotechnics, it looks like. Part of some device. I think I have a clue what it is. The bit sticking out from it, the end looked familiar, so I had to examine it. Turns out it's an antenna. Oh, like on a Beetle? Like on a cell phone. This device must use an electronic signal of some sort. An electronic signal, you say? Hey, I got something interesting to show you. Do you think you could take a look at this? A small device. Looks like a transmitter. A transmitter? You press the switch here and it sends out a signal. No idea what it's for, though. A signal? You mean an electronic signal? What is it, Apollo? Say, Emma, you know that strange object you said you found? Oh, this? Let me try pressing this switch. Ouch! It's on fire! Emma's device is on fire! What's the big idea? Ah! Well, now we know what this is. An igniter. This part must work like a lighter. It nearly lit me up, that's for sure. Hey, don't look at me like that. I didn't do it on purpose. I suppose. At least we're getting somewhere with this case. Hey, Apollo. Let's ask Emma more about this switch. Now that she has some first-hand experience. Wait, she must have had one of those headsets too. Right? Do you think you can take a look at this, Emma? No. Emma? Her rate of chewing is increasing. Better back off before it's too late. Alright, okay, alright, I get it. The switch. What are you trying to do? Burn me alive? Come on, it was just a few sparks. Says you weren't the one holding it. There's enough sparks flying around here with just with you two talking. Anyway, now we know this is a remote for an igniter. Let me see that for a second. Well, this is definitely a little transmitter. The signal's weak, probably only reaches 30 feet. A transmitter, huh? Incidentally, if you look at a cross-section diagram of the stage area... Wait, we're underground? Why are we underground? I didn't know that. This isn't backstage, this is understage. Let's see, 30 feet from Lamuar's dressing room. That covers the backstage completely. It also looks like it would cover the stage. It kind of seems unlikely anyone would use this on stage. Unless they hid it inside of the piano in a certain key. Guess I'd best be getting on with my investigation. We're off to look for more clues elsewhere then. I feel better just knowing what this thing is now. I'll have to look into the igniters a bit more later. Good luck! I'd like to know a bit more about igniters myself. I think we should let... I have a feeling I know where I'm supposed to go next now. And I fear it. No. It is not here. Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Sunshine Coliseum. Got it. To the backstage. I'm very scared as to when Gavin comes on now, because that song is going to ruin the audio. July 9th, Sunshine Coliseum. What? Come to life at the murder? Darian? That old bag opens a pie hole and wham bam, my life goes down the chute. Thanks. They won't let me work while I'm a suspect. Okay, so, just to reiterate. Remember I learned that this guy... Remember that I learned he's Borginian. And remember that I learned that Borginia is basically Egypt, according to Phoenix Wright lore. Now, after that stream, I had told my brother and sister that I need to learn how to do an Egyptian accent. And they basically said that I had to be careful with that, because that could be taken very poorly. So I'm just not gonna do an Egyptian accent. I'm just gonna stick to my Australian accent with this dude. Because honestly, he reminds me of Pierce from Sword and Shield, and I kind of got like a Australian vibe from him when I did his voice to myself when I was practicing. So, Darian isn't in the best of moods, is he? Not many people are these days, it seems. It is a crime scene, not exactly the happiest place to hang out. Then Gavin had to go rub the salt in the wound. My alibi's rock solid. Rock solid! So, about your alibi. You have to ask. The shooting happened right in the middle of the third set. That's right. The music was blaring when we heard those gunshots. It found Mr. Latouche dead. I got 10,000 witnesses who saw me too. Right there on that stage. Your guitar playing was something else. Thanks, little lady. See? This whole thing's a sham! I can't believe they aren't letting me work. There's no need to yell at me. It's Lamuar's fault. She was the one who said she heard his voice at the moment of the crime. Man, I never even talked to that old windbag. How could she possibly identify me? They won't let you work? He won't let me work. Gavin says I gotta lay low till the suspicion is cleared. What suspicion? He could be such a stick in the mud. Mr. Gavin? A stick in the mud? He may look all flashy and showy, but he's straight as an arrow, man. Except when he disappears. You hear him whining the other day? Oh, you mean the thing with the mixing board? And then, I'm gonna... Should I change his act? Should I change his voice? Because I don't like doing the voice that I do for him. I'll keep the... I'll keep the way he talks, but I'll try to change the accent. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. It was you, Darian! He's just a perfectionist is all. Not a bad guy, really. Well, I think the Gaviners are the best. I have all your albums.
The band's fine too. Gavin can write a good tune, I'll give him that.
Come to think of it, I haven't seen Prosecutor Gavin around much.
Oh, him? He's down at the prosecutor's office, most likely.
The prosecutor's office? I haven't been there, have I?
The data on the victim should have come from the Interpol. Coming from Interpol. Normally I'd be down there dealing with it. Normally.
Apollo, let's go check it out. I've always wanted to see the prosecutor's office. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Right on!
Say hi for me, okay? Oh, and screw you. And tell him I want into that crime scene. Where we going now? Hey, wait. Yes? What do you really think happened? Really? You don't think I did it, right? Well, great. Wade's still a guy with some confidence. Just remember, I was ripping it up on stage when it happened, okay? Rip it! Don't get led astray by some siren song, eh? Get this one wrong and you'll be eating humble pie for a year. I'll bake it myself.
Let's not talk to him anymore, alright? Detective Darian Crescent. He's one stone I'd leave unturned if I had a choice.
Gavin's office.
What part of the office is this? Oh, and he's got his poor guitar on the table. So, this is it. The Governor's head office.
It's not the band's office. It's the prosecutor's office. Yeah, so that's why I'm... Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna make it seem like he thinks that... that there's no one there. Yeah, so that's why I am asking. What is this creepy thing, object, whatever?
Looks like Prosecutor Gavin is on the phone. Oh well, guess we'll have to come back. Or we can hide behind that bookshelf real quiet like. That's eavesdropping. Why? We'd just be waiting quietly so we didn't notice. What if we heard something scandalous about the band? She'd make a good reporter for a gossip mag.
What? A replica?
So why was he after it in the first place?
Yeah, Latouche.
Latouche? Look, don't talk to me about those Boginians, okay? Just get me that report. Chop chop. And stop leaving me mysterious objects in my office, okay? It's times like this when I start to Mysterium. Huh?
No, please! Not this song!
Hiya. Tee. Just thought we'd drop in. Hope you're not mad.
How could I be?
There's not enough tea in the world in any case. Have a seat. Prosecutor Gavin, the philanthropist. What you learn, Apollo? So, who have you come to see? Huh? Clavier, lead vocalist for the Governors? Or Prosecutor Gavin, scourge of the courtroom? What do you think he means, Apollo? I think he's giving us a choice. We can either ask him about the concert or the case. Which way to go?
Okay, I hate to do this, but I have to look at what I'm supposed to do. And it might start doing stupid things while I'm, like, waiting. Alright, we gotta talk to him about the case.
Ah, that reminds me. Did you see the paper today? Yes, I always read the TV section.
Good girl. How about you, Air Forehead? I read the funnies.
Then you will not have seen this. Concert of Tragedy, the prosecutor's deadly song. Oh, is that a new show? I haven't heard about that one.
It's not a show. It's an article. News, you know?
Oh, does this have anything to do with the case?
Since getting back from the trial, my phone has been ringing off the hook.
How does it feel to take a man's life with a song? Have you ever hummed a man all the way to death row? Do you think you could sing for me over the phone? It is endless, endless.
Thanks to the case you made today, of course.
Oh, that was all Apollo's idea. Hey! Is that a newspaper over there too?
Yes, the Bulgarian Daily Bugle. Go ahead, take a look.
Thanks, but I can't read Bulgarian.
Oh, that's right. Suffice to say, this is big news over there as well. Though they didn't go so far as to mention the lyrics to my song.
Probably no one in Bulgaria could believe it. It's probably seen as just as serious at this point. Their journalists didn't see the need to mention it.
That makes sense. I hardly know what to think of it myself. And now we can have Maki translate it for us when we find out he speaks English, because I know for a fact he speaks English after my bracelet decided to go woo 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 woo. No, it's starting! Lamuar's testimony will probably be in the evening edition, I'd imagine. Which is why I've had Darian step down from the investigation for now. Yeah, we ran into him moping in front of the Colosseum. Lamuar was my invited guest, so it is a rather delicate situation. You understand how much I want to solve this case quickly if possible. Please, Glavier, there's gotta be a better song that you can play. This one ruins the audio. The Guitar Serenade.
I really love that song. It has such a great atmosphere to it.
You co-wrote with Lamuar, if I remember correctly. Is that right? It was last year. I had gone to tour Bulgaria's legal system. Alright, there's got to be a way to fix this. No, I'm not letting this happen. There has to be a way to fix this. Sound settings. I think I did it. My god, I did it. I did it. I fixed it. For now, anyway. I had gone to tour Bulgaria's legal system, as a matter of fact. And that's when you heard Lamuar's voice? It was at a small jazz club. I wept that night. I knew I had to meet her, to talk with her. So I used my influence, which is not inconsiderable, to arrange a meeting. Wow, prosecutors really have a lot of clout. I think he's sort of a special case, Trucy. Thankfully, she liked the work I did, and we wrote a song right there, backstage. Maki on piano, that dulcet voice, and myself on a guitar that I borrowed from Lamuar. And music history was made. Probably not an experience your average lawyer would ever have, like Apollo saying. It is a memory I hold dear, and this song we rewrote that night was this. And that very guitar is right over there. You mean this charred lump? Don't call it a lump! That's a piece of history, and it's only browned, not really charred. No matter, I shall never sing that song again. I wouldn't have used that guitar again either, even if I could have. What happened during that song anyway? Why did his guitar suddenly catch on fire? Do you think you could show it to us? Your charred, slightly burnt guitar. I'm sure he doesn't mind. What more could happen to it? First, let's examine the guitar and see what we can find. That was an impressive bit of pyrotechnics that did this. That's the guitar from the concert, isn't it? I thought it was one of the staff playing a trick on me. I never guessed that wasn't the end of it. I had a specialist analyze the guitar, incidentally. Oh? Did you find anything else? He didn't have a lot of time, so it's unclear. But the results he came up with were intriguing. Intriguing? How does that guitar tie into everything that went on? Sounds like something we should ask about. It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamuar. How did it end up here? She gave it to me. I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar's from Bulgaria? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruins the wood. So we vacuum packed it into Lamiwa's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. See, prosecutors do have a lot of clout. I still think he's a special case. Such a valuable guitar. It's too bad it got burned. What was it that you were saying earlier? Something about intriguing results from an examination of a guitar? That's right! What was that all about? Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Ah, so that's what it's called. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes. This, in fact. It looks rather familiar, doesn't it? The examiner is busy with the evidence, with evidence for the case now, however. So he'll be checking this out once he's finished with everything else. Odd. The device looks strangely familiar. Let's show him the thing that, not the move button. Let's show him the device that we used to almost set Emma on fire. It has to be one of these. What is it, Apollo? That device that was found in your guitar. Take a look at this. Why, that looks like the same... Why, that looks like the same thing. What is it? It's an igniter. Another one? It was at the crime scene, in Lamiwar's dressing room. Detective Sky found it, actually. At the scene of the crime? What could that mean, I wonder? Prosecutor Gavin, about this remote... Wait. Excuse me, did you say something? This remote control might be valuable ammunition for the trial tomorrow. It's too early to show my hand now. You would think someone with such a loud voice would speak more clearly, yeah? Alright, let's show him this thing. That looks like one of our tour issue headsets. Why are you wearing it, Fräulein? I thought it would be cool. I could pretend I was concert security and stuff. Actually, we found it at the venue and thought you might want it. Oh no, please, you keep it. It goes well with your cape, Fräulein. You think? She does look like she belongs on a stage, that's for sure. Is that all I have to do? Yep, that's all I have to do. Oh. Sunshine Coliseum. Backstage hallway. July 9th, backstage hallway. This place is deserted. I wonder what Lamiwa went off to. I'm sure she's okay on her own. She seems resourceful. I guess, but I can't help but worry about her a little. The stage. I mean, it says I'm supposed to... Oh, no! I clicked the wrong thing! Examine music instrument case. Now that's a big instrument case. That's a case for a contrabass, I think. You could fit 20 violins in there, I bet. It may look like a violin, but it's a completely different instrument. You could fit 5 truces in there, I bet. Hey! Are you comparing me to an instrument? I wonder if left it sitting open like that. Alright, now what? Walkthrough. I missed something. I missed something. I missed something in the office. I mean, granted, I should have been like, hey, why is this here? But you know what? I didn't think that because I'm an idiot. Hey, what's this?
What's that on the plate there?
Is that gum? Gum? Maybe he was chewing it when the phone rang, so he put it on the plate for later consumption.
You think a rock star could afford a fresh stick?
Don't jump to any conclusions now. That's not chewing gum. Take a closer look. Although I really shouldn't be offering, should I? What is that? It looks like a lump of plastic? Wait. Is that phone call? Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. What is this creepy thing, object, whatever? Looks like Prosecutor Gavin is on the phone. What? A replica? So why was he after it in the first place? Yeah, Latouche. Prosecutor Gavin, does this have something to do with Mr. Latouche? Wait a second. You were listening to my phone call, weren't you? Who, us? Yeah, I tried to stop him, really, but he forced me to. Hey, you were the one digging for a scandal, Miss Reporter. To tell us the truth, I'm not even sure what it is. But apparently it's a model of something undercover agent Mr. Latouche was after. This lump? Would you mind telling us what you know about it? What you do know about it? This was found in Mr. Latouche's bag. It's apparently a replica of something. A replica? It's a small lump about an inch and a half long. If we analyzed it, but there's not much to say other than it's a lump of plastic. Perhaps it was used in the identification of whatever it is a replica of. You mean whatever Mr. Latouche was after? That seems to be the most logical explanation. Well, what is it? Don't ask me, Fräulein. Oh, if you don't want to tell us, you could just say so. I've put in a request to Interpol via my contacts in Bulgaria, but apparently there is a block on information somewhere along the said chain. Oh? Something Interpol doesn't want to tell Bulgaria. Something about this little piece of plastic. Mr. Latouche went through all that trouble to become La Muir's manager. Just to come to this country to find out more about this lump? And he died for it. I've sent someone to the Colosseum to fetch La Muir. Perhaps she knows something about it, being a Bulgarian. I believe that covers everything I'm at liberty to talk to you about. Oh. Thanks for dropping by, Air Forehead. Thanks. Why, you gave me such much information. That igniter, for instance. Oh. That. I never met an attorney so forthcoming with the prosecution. It's a big help. Or perhaps you're just a tad naive. I guess I could have hid it, but somehow showing it felt like the right thing. I could say the same to you, Prosecutor Gavin. What do you mean? Thanks for the information. About the strange lump of plastic. The one that Mr. Latouche was investigating. Hey, that's right. I've been thinking, Air Forehead. We encounter many incidents in our lives, all of us. Not all of them simple. Especially not the ones where people are killing to song lyrics. That is why I try to at least remain simple inside. And I keep a simple goal, to discover the truth. That's why I like to keep relations civil, yeah? That is all. I can live with that. Mr. Prosecutor? Fräulein? Can I ask you why you sing in a band? Because I want women to turn and look when I walk down this street. That's pretty simple, too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do. Another time, perhaps. Interesting. He wants attention. And now, July 9th, Sunshine Coliseum. Oh, hey, Emma. Oh, it's you. You came at a good time. Hello there, Emma. What's up? Either of you know where La Muir is? Well, I saw her in the backstage hallway a while ago. Yeah, that's strange. What's strange? I can't find her anywhere. I was supposed to bring her to the prosecutor's office. La Muir's missing? It's hard to imagine her wandering off somewhere on her own. Being that she's blind and all. Yeah, we'll help you look for her. Great, thanks. Well, that can't be good. Maybe let's go ask, let's go ask Gramarye if he's seen her. And it's dark. That's not good. Huh? The stage is pitch dark. The power breaker must be off for this section. Great. I'll go get someone. Yipes! It was really dark out there. Dark. That's all the Lalimiwara has when you think about it. What would it be like to live in a world of darkness? Hey, Apollo. Huh? What? Does something about this stage seem different to you? Like something's changed. Yeah, the guitar case has been closed. It changed. I can't put my finger on it, but it's bugging me. Now it's bugging me too. What's she talking about? The guitar case. Hey, that case. Wasn't that open before? Huh, I guess someone closed it. Wait, look, where the case closes. Something's sticking out. That doesn't look like an instrument. You don't think it's... Let's open it, Apollo. Is she dead? Lamua! Lamua! Emma, we have to get Emma. Lamua was taken directly to the hospital. Emma ran around barking orders, making phone calls. Trucy just clung to my arm and cried. Aww, poor Trucy. And me? I was still in shock. 2 bodies in 2 days is too many. If that doctor shows up, I'm walking out of this room. Emma, how's Lamua? Is she okay? Ah, you. We all owe you a big thanks, that's for sure. So, she's okay? Yes. She came to a short while ago. You found her before it was too late. That's good to hear. So what happened? Someone attacked her. She was struck on the forehead. By who? We don't know. But they hit her on the forehead, right? That's right in front of her. How could she not Oh. Right. Would you like to see her now? Is that alright? She wants to thank you for saving her life. Lamua! Ah, Mr. Attorney, you were the one who found me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm just glad you're okay. Tell me, what happened? I don't know. It was after I spoke with you in front of the dressing room. I sensed someone approaching. I thought it might be someone coming to see me, but they said nothing. When I went to return to my dressing room, you were hit? I knew that very moment. I knew that the assailant was trying to kill me. It was lucky for me the first blow did not knock me out. I turned and ran for the stage. Someone was chasing me. I could hear footsteps. Yeah, I reached the stage first. Why the stage? I had overheard maintenance people talking. The power to the stage area was off, they said, for electrical work. Ah! Darkness is my ally. There was a contrabass case near the stage. That is where I hid, so the assailant couldn't see you. What's in the case? I'm afraid I passed out. Wow, that sounds like a really close call. Do you have any idea who it might have been? Unfortunately, no. Whoever it was, they said not a word. Too bad. Yet, when I consider that I was struck high on the forehead, I must conclude that whoever hit me was taller than I am. Good point. She's sharp. And you're much taller than I am. You're about as tall as Apollo. So that means it was likely an adult. And probably a man. Could it be him? But why would anyone attack you, Lamua? The detective asked me this too. And to her I gave the same answer I give you. I do not know. Am I supposed to do something here? Apparently I'm supposed to show her that, like, lump of plastic, and I clicked the wrong thing yet again. I should probably make sure that my mouse is no longer seen, because this thing likes to show my mouse a lot. Properties. Okay, perfect. This way it's a little easier for me. Ah, Lamuar, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you know what this is?
This is what?
Mr. Latus was carrying it. It's a replica of the thing he was after.
He was after? You know, in his secret identity. As an undercover agent. So that's what he was doing.
You mean you know what?
Yes, I know, of course. This must be a Borganian cocoon. Or rather, a convincing replica thereof. Why haven't I heard of a Borganian cocoon before? Why would he be carrying this around? Was it some kind of souvenir? I wonder.
What do you wonder?
Well, they call it Borginian. It must only be found in Borginian. For certain, all in Borginian know of these. It's a cocoon, so do you get silk from it? I do not know the details, I am sorry to say. I thought she said all in Borginian knew of these. There is one fact I do know about the cocoon, though. Something all in Borginian know.
What's that?
The cocoons, they are not to be taken out of the country. If someone does and is caught,
they will be put to death? Jesus.
To death?
Why?
I do not know. Yet if Interpol was involved, I'm sure there is a good reason. But this is just a piece of plastic! He was carrying a replica, but looking for the real deal.
That's my best guess.
So that's what he was up to.
Tracking down the Borginian cocoon smuggling.
Smuggling?
It seems I was marked.
Marked?
Life changed me for me with the popularity of my songs. I began to travel around the world.
Ah, so you could have brought those Borginian cocoons with you.
On my trips, yes. That was probably the suspicion. And Mr. Latus was an undercover agent to look into it.
Borginia is a small, sheltered country.
Not many of our people venture into the world outside.
Is that why they suspected you?
But Mr. Latus wasn't a Borginian, was he? He was an Interpol agent, which means...
What, Apollo?
Well, there must have been some reason that the other countries didn't want the cocoons out. Something scary enough to get Interpol involved.
Huh? Like what? How could such a tiny ball of thread cause such a commotion?
Cocoon smuggling. And Mr. Latus had Lamuar marked. It couldn't be her.
Huh?
There's one other person I need to talk to. Thank you for talking to us, Lamuar.
It was the least I could do.
Actually, I have another request. If it is within my power, I need an interpreter. Someone who speaks Borginian.
Apollo?
Would you come with us if you're well enough?
I see. Yes, of course. I shall accompany you. Huh? Where are we going?
Come on, Trucy. We're about to get to the bottom of this.
Time to talk to Maki! Time to talk to Maki!
Maki, we came to talk to you about the case.
Maki.
Could you interpret for us, Lamuar?
Yes.
Maki, I'd like to talk to you about when we first met. When we still thought you were blind. Yeah, sure. Now we know the truth. You can see, right?
I was completely fooled myself.
Maki, isn't there another secret you're hiding from us?
Wait, Mr. Attorney. What do you mean by secret?
What do I mean by secret? Well... If I'm not mistaken, you know something about this, don't you?
Hey, you got a reaction! A big one! Maki, you didn't!
Trucy and I are trained to see people's uncertainty.
Not that we would have needed any training to see that one. Mr. Attorney, please tell me what this is all about. Lamuar, please interpret. Very well. I know you know something about this by your reaction. If you won't tell me, I might have to give it to the prosecution. And have them look into it. He asks you to wait. Do not be so hasty. Maki? Do you know everything? Yes, everything. Well, sort of. Have him tell us about it. Very well. Why is the dog barking all of a sudden? What is this cocoon, anyway? The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure? It must cure some disease. It's a cure for incuratus. A cure for incuratus? But if it's a cure, why keep it in Bulgaria like that? Just think of all the lives that could be saved by sharing the medicine. I do not understand the reasons myself. Okay, well, at least we know what it is. A cure. And Mr. Latouche was after cocoon smugglers. Wait, was Maki? Maki, you weren't. He couldn't be a smuggler. He's so little. Well, you're only 15 and you're sort of a magician, aren't you? Well, that's true. I am sort of a magician. She said sort of. Oh, to have a copy of that security to have a copy of that security camera tape. Well, Maki, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me. First he plays blind, now he plays dumb. I wonder, do you think he brought a cocoon here to sell it to someone? If Maki really did bring one into the country, was he planning on making a deal for its sale? Please! I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Borginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon for Borginia is death. That's right, it's punishable by death. About the case? What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latouche's death? This meeting's over. This meeting's over. Darian? What do you mean? Visiting hours aren't over yet. There's a call from Maki from the Bulgarian embassy. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, now go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Darn it! We were so close! He was about to tell us! Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Maki had to say. Apollo! And there can be only one reason why. Why is everyone ignoring me? Oh, sorry. This is it. I know who I'm after now. It all happens tomorrow in court. The bastard did do it. And he did it to hide the truth. I got time for the trial, sure. Let's go through the trial. July 10th, 9:49 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting's over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving. Darian, wait. I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Yeah, what a weird thing to say. After you're just like, alright, meeting's over. Okay, meeting's over. By the way, never liked you. Either of you. Darn it, we were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Maki had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Eek! What was that? He is heard but unseen. Who is that talking? Haha, it's me! Valid Grammary! Using the door like an average knuckle, no less. You aren't the breakfast today, are you, Uncle Valet?
A preposterous proposition. How can I stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day.
Oh, with vanishing magic.
Indeed, I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning.
Warning? What?
A grand grammary glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell!
And there he goes.
You sure seemed happy about that illusion thing.
Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting people, or the Eiffel Tower, anything really.
So he was talking about what we saw at the concert.
Lamua's disappearing act, and Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened.
Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Huh? Did something happen?
This is a first. It was by the judge's request, some urgent personal business. Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell.
Oh, right.
Wow, they're still going on with this one? Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning.
The Chief Justice's son. Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it, there's an article about it in the newspaper if you would care to read about it yourself. Incuritis. What? Wait. Wait a minute. Wait. Is the Chief Justice just as corrupt as the other Chief Justice? What the shit?
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. Pardonnez-moi. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again? Marquis Tobaye, our suspect fortissimo. Right. It's his trial, in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. God, do you have to be like this every single time, Clavier? Why can't I just... it's just... What if he just sits there, like, every single time he does this, like, why can't I just have a normal fucking courtroom for once in my life? I'm begging you. Even Phoenix Wright wasn't this fucking... Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Wait, is it still What's-His-Face? Is it still What's-His-Face's kid? Is it What's-His-Face's kid? Did he have a kid? Incuritis, was it? That article said there was no known cure.
Herr Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain.
But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law.
Indeed. We left off at quite a juncture yesterday.
I asked Interpol about their number. IPXX314206. That agent registered under that number was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crochet. It's a great help.
Ah, no problem at all, Your Honor.
I'll be heading out. Wait! That voice just now. It was him. I'm sure of it.
It was him?
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
Now, why? Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought that Darien... Who would have thought Darien would guest star in this season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darien Crescend is a member of my band as a governors. He's also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is, weren't you aware, Airforehead? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamuar, and Maki, along with a drummer and a bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamuar and the defendant, Maki Tobaye, had left the stage at that point, and the governors were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Lamuar herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescend talking. But that's impossible! Detective Crescend was... Precisely. Detective Crescend was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. I have to... Voila. A perfect alibi! Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that just doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darien Crescend's alibi has been acknowledged. Which means that Lamuar was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well, of course, if we disregard her testimony. Then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections... Uh-oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now... but Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamuar might have been lying to protect Maki. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? About the case? What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latouche's death? This meeting's over. Sorry, mate. Darien? Maki was trying to tell us something, I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Very well. The court finds the defendant, what was his name again? Your Honor! Not that it wasn't. No, that wasn't it. It was something like Maki or Mr. Justice. Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Maki Tobaye to stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and where's the toilet. The defense would like to request Lamuar as the interpreter. Lamuar? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, your forehead! Our judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamuar lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of that language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see there's a cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamuar to the witness stand. I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, Lamuar. Yes. He says Maki Tobaye, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Now that we really need, not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well. Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought of that far yet.
Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was going to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me a moment, if I might speak.
Yes, Lamuar?
Just now, Maki said there is something about which he wishes to testify.
Maki wants to testify about something? What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Ah, the suspense is killing me.
What?
What? What? Well, now you are.
According to Maki, he has proof of his innocence.
What? Is this a surprise?
Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it!
This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Maki, please testify to the court.
Very well.
Time to pull up my walkthrough, because I'm going to need it for this.
He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamuar to know the meaning of that song. Lamuar! Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked.
Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamuar might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Okay. Ah! Oh yeah, right. Because it kept like vibrating because of the fact of like we kept questioning his English understanding.
He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock, but if the killing truly followed the lyrics of the song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he doesn't understand them.
Oh yeah? It's the eyes. Oh yeah? Gotcha. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Maki, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment Lamuar said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Maki, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
But what are you saying? Of course he can't.
Must he continue the charade?
Mr. Justice, Maki says this. I know the word English.
Huh?
Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all.
What? Give me a break! Welcome, Mr. Oh, hey! Thank you for following the Great Persia. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it, because I am enjoying voice acting it.
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance?
Well, yeah, but...
I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language.
Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper.
The newspaper?
The Borginian Daily Bugle. You could buy it in this country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they are quite fierce all of a sudden. Maki is lying! Maybe it's time to show them the proof that he's lying. What, do I show the newspaper? Apparently I show the newspaper. What does the newspaper have to do with this? I have here a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Uh-oh! Indeed, there is a article about the case. Could you read this for me, Maki? Ah! That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics. What? What is this all about? I'm sorry, Maki. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper. Ah! What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in the police questioning. I read the full report myself. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. Oh no! The witness will explain herself, or himself. Maki says... He says... Yes? It is true I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, Lamuar? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like our forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. No! I was onto something. I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Sorry? Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-examination? What are you going to do, Apollo? If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well, witness. I understand. What do I press on now? Tell me! Is she the one lying now? Wait, let me see. She is. Fucking liar. Liar. Gotcha. Liar. Liar! Lamuar, I'm currently cross-examining Maki. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court it was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lamuar, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lamuar, you're protecting... Lamuar, you are protecting Maki. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help. This is not the way. Maki, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you've lied to us twice, and now you have Lamuar lying on your behalf. Shit. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Ah!
witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
What?
First he could see, now he can talk. And you, did you not know about this, Lamua? No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding? How many secrets do you hide under your layers, sir? Are you like an onion?
This is last. Maki, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting! I did no shooting! So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Well, I didn't say that! Apparently the answer to that question is in simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk. Manager, he on floor. Manager, he on floor. Which would be after the shooting, right?
Then there is voice. Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma and Apollo? Was it you and Emma and Apollo?
So when Maki went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away. So it was you who escaped through that air vent. As the prosecution has held on along, no less. The defendant hasn't admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No! He's clearly denied that he did it. I no shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor. The victim had already been shot, you say. I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's climbed up, Apollo.
Then let us ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about?
Wait. No, of course there is. What is this cocoon, anyway? The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure? Well, Maki, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me. That cocoon has to have something to do with this.
Maki, please, tell us the truth for your own sake.
No more speak. Not to any of you.
So much for your precious trust, forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we may proceed. Oh boy! It's a fun day. July 10th, 11:23 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Apollo Eustace? That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Believe, I know shooting. Maki claims that Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap, and he walked right into it. Suddenly I hear revolver, close, very close. Then I hear voice.
You heard gunshots?
Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead, and then you heard shots?
If that's true. So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots.
And you escaped through the air vent. I know.
Huh? What do you know?
I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area. Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right! Look, Apollo!
Huh? Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I hear this from Magician.
Magician?
Don't look at me!
A magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Maki didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's going to go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just dead you misheard him every time. So, what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Maki?
No talking. No.
That was worth a shot. That cocoon. I can't go home.
Can't go home?
I can't go home to Borginia. I don't want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Borginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo, so what's your plan? If Maki won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Like the man who tried to stop Maki from trying to talk about it. If Maki won't talk about it, might as well hear it from the horse's mouth. I hit the microphone again. God damn it. I'm very sorry, guys. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What? Well, this was easy.
Shame.
And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around.
Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Maki won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamuar.
Lamuar? I thought it was Darien. What are you up to? What are you up to now?
I thought we determined yesterday that Lamuar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamuar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lamuar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself.
What? I've heard no such report.
Prosecutor Gavin? Why would anyone be out to kill Lamuar? Can you think of a reason?
Well,
think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out.
So, am I to understand that this is what you are saying?
Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamuar's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover.
Exactly. If Lamuar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamuar's testimony once more.
Lamuar, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Maki is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darien Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed, and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there.
There is? It seems much you do not...
There is, it seems much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out.
Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the case, to the court. Of course, Your Honor.
What I heard.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking this much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible.
Do I have to repeat myself? Lamuar was attacked because of this testimony. Oh, shit. She was? How do you know that? What, Trucy?
Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool.
Maybe I do better. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. Alright. Time to pull it up. That's when I heard them. Mr. Latouche and... Darian Crescent?
I did not know his name at the time, but yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed.
Is that why?
Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Well, what were they talking about? Lamimar, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. There's something wrong with my nose. I'm sure you guys noticed it with all the noises coming from me, too. I have given it much reflection, but... I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase?
You remember something that was said? Why did you say anything yesterday?
Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then, Darian Crescent. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. Switch? A shooter said this to the and the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche? I thought it was quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure. I'd be delighted. It's, very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? From the small window, I heard a voice say, press the switch now. Do you mean this one? Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, but there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens, I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there, on this stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lamuar heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch? It is a possibility. Oh, yeah, forehead. I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert form. This stage is quite far from Lamuar's dressing room. Not to mention that the governors were in the middle of a concert on stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too have Air Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed a shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy for someone to get a message on stage to someone on stage from the dressing room. It's your own headsets! Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this? Why, that's... What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they've invented while I wasn't looking? This is a type of transmitter. A communications device. Communications device? From what I've heard, that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. They're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. Shit! True, but wait! Those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Labiwa said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at the cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be! So, when Lamuar heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage. Ha! You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on this stage at the time? It could have been placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. Oh! I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Uh-oh. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of it when think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning this switch, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice? I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. You're starting to sound like a certain lawyer that you hate the guts of right now. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what the switch is? Now the question is there two of them? Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? That's what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. You aren't saying this switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Yo! Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I had expected. If my whiskers had caught on fire. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Oh shit. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught on fire in the middle of your performance. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Nope. Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a very valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Burgundia from Lamuar. He said the sound was amazing before it burned, of course. Now it's just kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. A forehead. Yes. Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamuar, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed, and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense. There's something about this that is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really? It seems pretty simple to me. Yeah, forehead. Don't destroy what little respect I have for you.
What? I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong.
What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? His simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes? The cause may have been this, indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set.
Ah! That's right, of course.
Oh. Uh-oh. 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 Remember, he said that the body was already there. Uh-oh! Wait, no. Remember. Yeah, yes. I know why. The guitar caught fire during Lamiwa's song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. No, they didn't. The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See? His story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? Oh shit. He actually knows what he's talking about. What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What's this? But Detective Emma Sky heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Maki was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane! Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on this headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames. We know that a remote triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What? That could do a little better. Hold on. What? There we go. That's a little better. Order! I really need to work on my voice acting. Order! Order! But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right, look! The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look. Why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose? Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin. If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet our forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics to the whole way. I realize I messed up a little bit there, but... Order! 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 That would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second. No. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. And let me tell you, I'm very pissed off right now. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer wasn't following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction, Air Forehead, one I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, this small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamua have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamuar's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have, man? Look, what do we have? A man saying, press the switch. Near the crime scene, we have a switch. Which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamua heard the voice? A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove, and one thing only. Lamua heard a voice, and she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamua able to hear the voice? She was somewhere else. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open, either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be a Borginian too. As I was saying, Lamua could not hear the voice through that window. So there can only be one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Air Forehead? Lamua clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window, and there is only one small window at this scene. Are you sure? I'm sorry, what did you say? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is? Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well, you claim Lamua heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamua heard the voice from the vents. Does this look like a small window to you, Mr. Justice? The state of modern society can be read from numerous objects and artifacts. In a sense, anything can be a window in our society. Oh, shit. What was I supposed to get, then? What was I supposed to do? I knew it was the vent. No points for trying. And if the small window we know about was closed, there's only one other thing she could have meant. It's the vent. Wait, unless they mean like, oh, is it this vent right here? But I can't even reach it. Alright, we'll try it. This is where Lamua heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamua was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Air Forehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamua be in the ventilation system, hiding like a rat? No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamua? Oh shit, you figured out the trick. You've been listening to our discussion here, yes?
Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter.
Oh, I've been... I've been burned by my own idol.
The problem here is words. Lamuar, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up high on the ceiling.
What? I will have order. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room, and that's where you heard the moment of the crime?
Yes, in fact I was. I am sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point.
Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure, I can't.
May I remind you, this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room, please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I heard the voice there. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
Bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, Fair Forehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you going to do, Apollo?
I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. Where am I supposed to press? Oh. I know where to go. Yeah? Don't worry. We have something that will tell everything. Lamuar, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear, especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video.
The video that we had from good old Grammary. And then the judge is just like, oh shit, that's what happened. Jesus. And cue the judge crying.
Oh shit. As we can see, Lamuar was clearly not on stage for her entire performance.
Ah.
Though it saddens me to be so realistic, Lamuar is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo! What, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating, but how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. No. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert. His show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can see a trace route through the ceiling. It goes from on the stage through the backstage to the rear of the forum. Ah! Recall Lamuar's testimony from yesterday. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamuar knew of this because of her part in the illusion. Because she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Maki told me something. I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course, yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he bound Lamuar to secrecy. Well, Lamuar, I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Maki was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Hello. How are you, friend?
Nice of you to join us at a very climactic point in the case. How are you? What game is that? This is known as Apollo Justice. This is, I want to say if it's like a game set after Phoenix Wright's part of the series of Ace Attorney. So this is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. This is the only game that I have not spoiled myself on in terms of story, so figured it would be nice to just show my reactions live on air. Yep. This game itself is really cool, actually. I've had a blast playing it so far. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue with the story. Oh, not a problem. I will keep playing. Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before... Ah, the timing. Right. There was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes. It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Lamuar was able to teleport like she did, or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Ugh. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamuar who isn't going along with the program here. As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. I see you. Please don't say that. That scares me. I am gonna just close. Now you have me worried. Don't scare me like this. Give me a minute.
I mean, actually, not. Yeah, I do have a webcam. Unless you mean the game. Which I don't think you do mean.
I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail.
Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear out your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals. Good luck, Apollo! Time to pull up the walkthrough yet again.
I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side of the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say. The mystery deepens. I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamuar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I am a magician after all.
Well, tell me.
Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here.
Alright, and time to pull up the walkthrough. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There's an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum to the opposite side of the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
Sorry, Apollo, I'm not telling. Not even if you make those puppy dog faces.
Fine, fine. Alright, I'm missing something here.
Oh. Oh, wait. No. Press.
2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you are running.
Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it on time. You see, I stopped halfway. Lamuar disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want for my professional opinion, I'll put the answers right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us? Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony?
Evidence explaining the discrepancy? Yep. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony.
It's not my badge. I wait more people to know you. Then I happen to see you calmer. See you later. Oh, not a problem. Thank you for the follow. Sorry. I'm still a little new at this. Forgive me. So, thank you for the follow, Christian. I'll catch you later. Lamuar, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Oh shit. Take another look at the video. Alright, now I'm just gonna be looking at the part where the brooch is. Okay, the brooch is right there. Right around her neck. It's right there. Here you can see she's wearing the brooch. Yep. So she is. Let's look a bit later. I don't see it. Oh, it's not there. It fell. What? The brooch! The brooch, it's gone! What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can be only one explanation. That the Lamuar we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lamuar we see after are two different people. What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamuar, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage at the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did. Order! Prosecutor Gavin! From your expression, I gather you have no idea this was the case here, Judge. I, of course, knew about it. What? Don't get me wrong. I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right? There was a switch? There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamuar was replaced. While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement, Lamuar? Why, the man behind the illusion. Valent Gramarye. It was Gramarye? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yes. The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. That's right. But this fake Lamuar is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true. Come on, Apollo. That's an easy one. They were just playing a recording. The Gaviner's on some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein. Oh? You mean I'm wrong? When we play a live show, we play live, no recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamuar. Very well. Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony. I had to keep singing even while I moved. Do I do anything for that? I know I saw that somewhere. I gotta press there. You were singing? Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this. Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage? Why should it matter where I sing, when everywhere I go is the same as darkness, is the same darkness? But if you were singing while you were walking... That's right, wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads, after all. That is right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the crime scene. The scene of the crime. What state? Ah, I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo. The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker for playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lamuar singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamuar singing over the speaker. Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice! Lamuar, I have just remembered something. Do tell. When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes, it startled me, so I stopped singing. What? I forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice. Forehead! That mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing... huh? That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks. Oh, this. I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen.
get it. We'll either hear her, like, stop, or we'll hear the gunshots in the middle of the song. The song does stop there.
It does. I must have missed it.
Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again.
This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamuar's ballad.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter.
Which means that Darian Crescend could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set.
Oh, shit.
Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Fascinating.
What now? I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turn around quite so surely. Yet one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
Your forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamuar's testimony.
Yes, is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple, so it pains me to say it. What if she is lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof! All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself. The man...
You don't mean...
Yes. Zoe is a friend, and band member Darian Crescend must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case?
As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole, and I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescend, get ready for justice. This is going to take a little longer than I thought.
This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess.
The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well. Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. We're gonna... Nah, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. We don't stop until we reach the other chapter, you hear me? We do not stop until we reach the other chapter.
Wait. Oh.
Apollo! I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamuar's performance? Why she was in that air vent? And that switch and the flaming guitar? When you link it all together, that's what you end up with.
I knew you had what it took.
Oh! Phoenix! Ah, Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me?
Not really.
Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed?
Oh no. What if you're shot too, Daddy?
What would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again.
Huh? You're leaving?
Oh, one thing before I go.
What?
Good luck.
Right.
Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Maki Tobaya off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darien Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy! Right, this. Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. Oh, that clever little bastard. That clever little bastard. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door, just like that. Just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Man, you guys are getting a treat today. You're getting 3 hours of a stream. Court is now back in session, Prosecutor Gavin. Where's Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darien was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand, correct? Oh, I know. Yeah, forehead. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darien Crescent. Aye, mates. Name and occupation, please. Name and occupation, please. Darien Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners, maybe you've heard of us. Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Daddy. And don't call me partner. so much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darien. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial? Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamua's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Bulgaria. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In fact, in the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway?
The shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
So you claim Lamuar's testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect the kid. And she's got the coy and vague statements at her hand just because she's blind. You go too far. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination. He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamuar's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. And I know exactly where I'm gonna find it. 'Cause you're a lying sack of shit. Hey, you wanna explain this? Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt, not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial, just in case. You fucking son of a bitch. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing, you don't think. Your explanation there seemed a bit too convenient for me. How so? So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by? That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know when someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? Urgh! How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness, and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner? Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. What happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself? And I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset. The kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Uh-oh. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. So you're really gonna throw me under the bus is what you're saying. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burned fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix, and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still not close to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while a little piano player was on stage. That's right. That right, Gavin? Indeed. Indeed, if you can't prove that. Then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony, if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof, and fast. You ready, kid? You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. I was right. The gunshots are gonna be heard on the fucking... It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamuar's song. A song? What exactly is this device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this, and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamuar's voice included. Ho ho! But what does this prove? According to Lamuar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in the dressing room, out on stage? Have you forgotten, Daddy? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamuar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now. Lamuar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot, and I'll find the gunshots. Well, first we find out which one is her singing. Okay, first we find out which one... Here it is. Found it. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamuar's vocals. Yep. Uh-oh. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamuar's testimony was true. Grah! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard. It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't two bullets fired from this weapon? Lamuar was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent. Once again I am reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance. Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Airforehead. What is this today? Problem after problem. Octong? My heart won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And since there was a performance just now, what was all that about? This part is off. Which is that second guitar? It was you, Darian. I thought it was strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche. I'm talking about the murder weapon. Mr. Latouche's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with the revolvers that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between the killer and the victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Okay, but what? Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Absolutely fucking not, he's a fucking fraud. Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves Rolled Up Ready for Action has to say. Hey you, attorney! Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. So you really did do it, is what you're saying. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager, and that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Proof of innocence. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. That was that diva's first trip. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been into our country before? According to our records, yes. Not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. And the motive is the cocoon. Why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. No motive. Oh yeah? Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. What in the hell are you going on about this one? Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Bulgaria. Novaes. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Bulgaria. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering! We looked into the matter at some lengths. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon, yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out into the black market. It caused quite a commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this had led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol. Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. Oh shit, you really do know your logic. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. I got your number now. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Sending them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. Which one? Wait, it's a newspaper. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? This is that article. That's about the Chief Justice's. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit the victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband, not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why would it be an international scandal? That's Detective Crescend's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Well, I mean, he's got me there, I guess. Detective Crescend, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about it, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well, oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Bulgarian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. It's very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Oh, no. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it! Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office?
It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lam Yuan.
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Borginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruins the wood. So we vacuumed it in Lam Yuan's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me from transporting evidence. They brought it right up to me in my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Bulgaria. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Air Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact. An igniter! Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. No! And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band! Yeah! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Her forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamuar's ballads, if you will. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see, but things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah! Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press this switch now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then, Mr. Latouche died. Vislam you are there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. The Republic of Bulgaria? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Let's see you make up a story for that kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Borginian accomplice. That's all. Oh shit, I really should have tried to stop that kid from talking. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamuar heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch now! You made this transmission from backstage.
while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. Be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. I'm pretty sure it's Maki. Just gonna make sure, though. Yep, it is. It's him. There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Maki Tobaya. But Mr. Justice, he's your client! A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Bulginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lamuar? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamuar was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamuar still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and Lamuar standing were in there. There was on the tower, which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamuar's position in the air vent. Ah! Oh, flabbergasted. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you have to say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. What? What is he gonna say? What is he gonna say? What bullshit is he gonna pull out of his ass, I wonder? Too bad, so sad, Punk. Punk? First you were Sleeves, then Kid, now Punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, Punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? Oh, yeah, right. He would have had to just stop playing the piano. Unless, of course... What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it. Yeah, how's he supposed to hit the switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with their hands free was the Diva. Lamuar. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Then pull up the mixer. Pull out the mixer. Let's hear it. Let's listen to it again. I can guarantee you we'll hear the sound of that switch going through. piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed the switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Maki Tobaya didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man.
Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Maki Tobaya the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
If Maki's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now?
Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this? Can you prove Maki Tobaya pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Maki Tobaya pressed that switch? I can prove it. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. And as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Here, forehead, you're sure about this? Accept it. There's no evidence, man.
I'm sorry, you cannot come in.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch? The sound. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. I hear a piano being played. But doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Maki could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. What? So you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. Then what do you know? You can't play your part like that with one hand. Or maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist, could he? Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't! I admit it. I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. Oh no. Once again his ears like a hawk have come in. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No, why? Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Right before the part... Maki was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. What do I do? Select part 2. Okay. Present. That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin? It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding. I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know. I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with one hand when the switch was pressed. Shows the part that proves that. God dang it, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I'm sorry, guys. There's gonna be a thing popping up in a few minutes. Oh, there isn't. I thought for a minute, like, it was gonna actually pop up, and I was about to be very mad. With myself, more so. Alright. Part 1. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Air Forehead. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Sounds fine to me. Man, how many times do we have to listen to that same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Wait, what do you mean? Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar burst into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." Play verse 2 again. Oh. Yeah, it does have a different tune to it. There, did you hear that? They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. Ah. What's that proof? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses have different arrangements. It happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. Whose side are you on? There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had them play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That was what I had noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Maki changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. So, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like him when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Air Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes. Don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him!
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it! It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if he did, we'd already have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What?
The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods.
Ugh.
Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescen's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no?
The kind of thing that a single spark could turn to a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal.
So can I get back to work now, or?
It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo. What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry.
And I intend to hear this one through to the very end.
Oh, you piece of shit. Air Forehead, you are accusing this man Darian Crescent of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Letus and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's... Darian Crescent's plan is a witness.
Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence.
Huh?
So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else.
You mean
a witness?
Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt?
The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant,
Maki Tobaya. Your client? Again? Maki Tobaya was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Letus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Ah, very scientific of you. Thus, if Maki Tobaya acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved.
there Ian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. What's wrong with my throat? I'm starting to notice like it's just by Bulgarian law. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Maki doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Maki admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginian, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but, that's not... But if Maki doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police, and it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this! You can't accuse me! Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Maki Tobaya. Oh! The cocoon smuggling your entire plan? Maki Tobaya knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. But he's not going to do it, because I believe in him. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace, a hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't talk! It is over. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning, Maki. Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule, however. It has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Maki Tobaya, yes. I promise you will receive a fair trial by the court, by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant Maki Tobaya. We did it! And with almost near 4 hours to spare, court is adjourned. You guys got a treat today. I wonder what happened to Maki. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there will be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Mom, you are? Mai, is something wrong? I'm sorry. Maki was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him, something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lam Yuar lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my own eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Oh, I can't wait, Lam Yuar!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I needed to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too!
And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now, but there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
have them catch the killer at the end.
Alright. That was fun. That was actually amazing. And now we end it here. Because I believe my food has come. I did not mean to put it on the intro, I'm sorry. But it was fun. And hey, you guys got a treat today. You got like almost 4 hours of a stream. And I started at like 3. So, this shall be my adieu to you. And we shall be doing this again next week. Because I for sure have all my days off next week. As for Genshin, I will have to see about that. Because there's not a lot of stuff to do on there now-ish. But we shall see where it goes. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next Friday for Apollo. Have a good day, everyone.